one of the things I learned from Mike Watson, CG Premier, man, you got to try to find how you can get paid multiple ways in the process. So in order to do 4% deal in North Carolina, you have to have accreditation or have done one before, or you need to get a sponsor. So found a sponsor because I haven't done one. We formed a single-use LLC, and I had the land under contract for 1.5, but I sold it to our single-use LLC for 3.2. Because I improved the value of the land by getting it entitled to do 252 apartments.
Welcome to Entree Real Estate, where we turn the complexities of real estate into clear, actionable steps for building generational wealth. I've invested into different types of real estate all over the United States, and I run a thriving real estate fund. Join me as we document the entrepreneurial journey of scaling businesses and transforming the lives of tens of thousands of people around the world. Let's turn your real estate dreams into reality. Buckle up, because this is the start of something truly incredible. My name is Devin Robinson, and welcome to Entree Real Estate. All right, today we are here with a live interview with my man Council Glenn, which I'm excited. I'm gonna give him a little play before we get in there. Council's a good friend of mine. I'm so thankful to have known you and grown together with you. I met Council last October.
That's it.
Probably at CG Collective Genius. And Council got up on the stage and gave a breakout. And in this breakout, he gave this talk. And I think he got done giving the talk on land entitlement and how you can make money with land. And some people, I think it was like, that was too much. I don't know where to go from that. For me, I was like, yo, I don't think people know what they just heard. That's insane. And so then Council was like, hey, because you have an ask and then you have a give. And so he gave his give was the land thing, blew me away. And then his ask was, can anybody help me build out my systems and I was like, me, hey, right here. I will do that. And so Council and I have gotten to know each other. And Council is honestly a guy that I really look up to. I think he's incredible. I think he is a really great business guy who's pushing the boundaries on that stuff, exploring, which is a big part of this. But I also think he's a better family man, loves his family really well. Is present with them, which is a huge thing. I think that's just in this day and age, you don't see it much. And I think it's really cool to see that. And it's a huge encouragement to me, and then just a really good friend for me. And so I'm just thankful for him, his heart and who he is as a man, as a leader in our industry, and CG. Here's one thing that Council is cool because I'm just gassing you up right this point.
Are.
I really
I'm
am.
glad we got this recorded too.
That's right. He's blackmail. So I remember Council last year. This is actually probably not gas, but I remember last year nobody knew him, just a chill guy. He was giving his talk. This year, Council came. He had the gold chain. He had some Louis sunglasses on. He had the J's. I was like, oh, check him out, Council. Okay. But well deserved. I couldn't think of anybody that deserves it more than you, man. So I'm thankful you're here.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure hanging out with you. We're so close. An hour and 15 minutes apart. So always good to hang out, man.
Yeah. So I'm in Charlotte. You're in
Greensboro.
Yeah. Okay. How long you been in Greensboro?
Man, I moved to Greensboro my sophomore year in high school, so summer of '99.
Where'd you go to high school?
Graduated from Dudley.
Dudley.
Yeah.
Cool.
James B.
I was about to say, is it because they say JB Dudley or something like that?
James B. Dudley. Yeah.
Cool. Because I went to UNCG.
Yeah.
I did not graduate in 1999. I did not know you were that much older than me.
No. I was a sophomore in high school in '99.
In '99.
Yeah, I graduated high school in '02.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So not that much.
Did you go to homecoming?
No. I lived in the Outer Banks at this time.
Okay,
so I was not in Greensboro.
This past weekend.
Oh.
In UNCG.
Oh, no. Gosh, no. I haven't been to a UNCG anything. A long time.
So my wife is an alum, so we were there. That's the only reason I
asked.
Yeah.
We may go next year because we'll be in Greensboro.
Yeah.
Hey.
Nice.
Okay, cool, man. So you're in Greensboro.
Yep.
And then, so for you, did you go in immediately into real estate out of college, or where'd you go to college?
I love telling the story, man. So I grew up in Chicago, right?
Okay.
When we graduated 8th grade, some people call it middle school down south. It was elementary, but 8th grade, I had to apply for high school. We didn't just go to the closest school. So I applied to top 3 of the city. I got into Kenwood at the time, which was number 2, and we had to choose a major almost.
In high school?
Yes.
Huh.
3 options: math, English, or drafting, right? So Math, I was pretty good at. Always tested off the scales. English, I can't spell worth a lick. So I was like, nah. And I was like, I talked to my mom. She told me drafting was like wood shop. So I'm like, yeah, let's do drafting. Try something different. So we had a summer program, like going into from 8th grade to 9th grade year, like a 2-week program. When I got there, it was like drafting tables. It was an architecture program.
Oh.
So they had us downtown Chicago drawing buildings, building stick buildings, fell in love with architecture.
Nice.
Came to Greensboro, still picked up architecture at Weaver at the time. Went to A&T, architecture engineering was my major. So I always wanted to be in construction somehow. So I worked a couple little odds and ends job. My last full-time gig was, one of my last was at O. Henry Hotel in Greensboro.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so...
you a waiter there?
No, I was actually on the sales team. I started as the office admin and got to the sales team. So I was at the home office and got to the sales team at O. Henry. But I met a guy there who introduced me to a GC who was building big houses, and he had some smaller ones, but he needed admin help. My background was administrative. You probably wouldn't tell that now just because I probably need the most help administratively, but
he's not lying.
I'm not lying. But so I went and helped him out. He taught me everything I knew about construction at the time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool, man. Okay, nice, man. Yeah. That is kind of wild because I've never heard of like a track system for kids. Is it like a STEM school or something?
It was just regular, but I mean, it was again, it was so crazy because growing up, we didn't know this. Like, my sister, she applied for one high school, didn't get in, so it's 2 to take anybody, but it was the worst 2 in the city. Hurst and South Shore, if you're from the Chi, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I had to choose a track.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah. I've never been in a school like that. That's cool though, because it puts you in a certain direction. Which I would have never
ever chose drafting.
Well, and like I honestly think that I actually like that model because I think that we should be moving away from more of an institutional educational model to more of a trade and skill set education based like learning and future projection type stuff. Because like I'm not going to encourage my kids to go to college.
Me either.
Unless like they have to be a doctor or a lawyer or they play sports. Like that's the only way my kids are going to college, or else they'll probably just, I don't know. I see like, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this too. Cause like neither of us are in the business of building anything small. Like we're probably going to build something big, and we'll talk about the things you're building, and that will allow for future opportunity for our kids.
Right.
But like how much is too much when trying to push your kids, or like what is it and let's chat about this. What is it going to look like to try to lead your kids to where like they could take over what you're doing, but they don't have to? You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever thought about that?
I have a lot, man. And we'll see how time progresses. I think right now my youngest is best in position to take over the responsibility of leading the company. It's kind of
how old
cool.
Your youngest?
He's 8. He'll be 9 next Monday. But he's the more responsible of the two. More responsible than my 11-year-old, which is kind of funny. But one of the things that's weird, you mentioned this, man. Me and my wife, we just sat down with an estate planner and got kind of all of our legal stuff done.
Did you get a revocable or irrevocable?
Revocable.
Nice. Okay.
So we got all that set up, power of attorneys, but I was explaining like what we build, prayerfully 50, 60 years from now, it's a ton of units and lots of different things that, hey, if they want to work in it, great. If not, they at least gonna receive monetary benefits from it. And man, if they want to travel or serve or help other people, I'm okay with them not working in the company.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, man, how do you manage wealth with kids? Because like I don't say that, and people that know me should know this about me. Like I don't say this in a way that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be rich and all this stuff. But I think it becomes a byproduct of what our goals are gonna be. Yeah. So like the wealth just comes because of how big our dreams and our goals are gonna be. And so then like, how do you lead your kids well through that? Because my son, he's 6, and like he's just learning. He's like, Daddy, when are we gonna go break a house? Because like, so I'm like, we're gonna go break this house soon, and he's just all excited and jazzed up about it. But like, that's the hard part about it is like, we're gonna build something big for our kids, and you see all these kids that are on drugs and all this and all that, and like, how do you stop that? You know?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest differences too, man. You got to remember, like, there was a fabric within us that helped us create and build what we're creating and building. That
Yep.
because of the opportunities that we can afford our children, they won't naturally get. So you almost have to either manufacture that or instill certain things within them that they have that resolve that you and I have, and other entrepreneurs, first generation have, that the second and third won't. You know?
And that's a real thing, because like there is like a study that shows like the gap in success of kids. Like it's typically the grandkids of like after the first generation is gone to where that's successful, because they don't know that they're further separated from the wealth than like our kids are.
Yeah.
Because like our kids are gonna have money, but then like their kids, they may not have to struggle unless our kids blow it. So then after that, then their kids are gonna be the ones that have to, because it should be theoretically that far. I don't know. I just think about that stuff sometimes.
No, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Okay, cool. So I'm glad your son is out there trying to. So like, do you bring him out there, and are you bringing him to the sites?
Oh man,
or is
yeah.
he just...
We go to Lowe's, pick up supplies. They unload the truck. They bring it in the house. We do the walkthroughs. I've taken them to closings, so they understand kind of not the numbers per se, but like I like for them to kind of be exposed. Hey man, this is how much the light bill is. You know, this is how much our budget is every month. Look at these groceries. So when they get their money and they want to go buy a game, I'm sorry, let's take a look at this. So just how much you have. You want to buy this game, it's $60. You're gonna have this left. When are you getting some more money? Let's make sure that's the best buy.
Yeah, that's good.
Should you wait because your birthday's coming up? You know, Nana, she might look out for you.
That's true. You know, I on like a different level, because like sure, we could be at the budgeting stage with the kids yet, but I think on a psychological level, it's different now. So my mom, I don't think she ever owned a home. Never. Did yours?
She bought her first house in her 40s.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So she bought her first house in the 40s. My mom never owned a home. But I'll be on FaceTime with my kids, and my kids will be like, Daddy, are you buying that house today? Yet, like, it's a whole different mindset for them. Like for me, buying a house was like, oh my gosh, we're getting a house for all this. For my kids, it's like, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
You buying a house today? They go with me to the courthouses to buy houses and stuff like that. It's like, that's just regular. So we're shifting the mindset of like the whole generational idea of what it's like to own property.
Agreed 100%, man. So I showed my son my HUD statement from one of my closings, and he was like, we were going somewhere, and my mother-in-law called. He was like, yeah, Nana, Dad sold the house, so we're going on vacation or something like that. And he made, and my mother-in-law was like, what? You make that much money?
Yeah.
Like,
whoa.
Son,
the company made that much money.
Yeah. Son, you got to remember that number, that stays between the Glenn family. Like,
yeah.
You can't tell everybody everything. So, but they are good at that. Like, I think kids, man, are smarter than you think. And so I don't treat them as that they're naive. I just, hey, look, this is for us to know only. And he holds that, and he won't tell a soul. So
that's good.
Yeah.
That's real good.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Council, let's talk about what you actually do.
No, we did, man. Being a dad, that's part of it. Yeah.
You know what? I like that you said that, because like what we do is real estate. Who we are is different. Yeah. So like, I think that is such an important discrepancy to keep in our life. Our identity of who we are is not wrapped up in what we do.
Exactly.
So man, I like that you said that, man. I appreciate that correction.
Yes, sir.
That was good. Cause I don't ever want my kids to also think that too. Like, oh, all my dad is a non-present real estate guy.
Yeah.
No, my dad is a follower of Christ that leads his family in that, loves his wife, and loves his kids.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a dad. And so, no, man, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. So for me, these podcasts are just different. They're not like, oh, we're just gonna talk about business. This is entree real estate, because the entree part is the entrepreneurship part. That's life. And then how does life include real estate? So for you, let's talk about the real estate side.
Yes, sir.
So you started out, I don't know how long ago. So you started out fixing flipping houses, is what it seems like. Wholesaling. Okay. Yeah. So you were wholesaling. Now you flip. What is that journey like for you? Because like, there's always a little switch.
Yeah.
There's a switch that goes, and then what does that lead you to now?
So man, I think 2018 November, December was my first ever deal. I was broke, struggling, man. Family, 2 kids. and trying to kind of reinvent myself. And
What was your previous job?
I was a GC,
Okay.
flipping houses, just working for other people, and it just wasn't going well, man. I wasn't budgeting right. We were doing a couple hundred projects a year, but it was just
Dang.
it was stressful. So kind of took a step back, and I had a buddy of mine, my mentor. He kind of just took people under his wings, and one of the guys he took under his wings while I was there was talking about wholesaling. And he's like, "Yeah, man, I make 60 grand." And again, I'm a little bit competitive, in nature.
I play ball with you. I play ball with you. I get it.
And I said, man, this dude ain't sweeter than me. And if he can make that, I know I can do it too. So I started looking into it. Follow Max Maxwell. He's in Winston, up the street from Greensboro. And my mentor at the time, he had a piece of land. He said, "Hey, man, if you can sell this land, I'll give you half of whatever you sell it for." I put a for sale sign in the yard with my phone number on it. The gentleman called me the next day, gave me $100 to take the sign up, told me he'll pay 10 grand for the land.
Nice.
Wasn't no negotiation. I knew I was getting 5 grand next week. So
Let's go.
that was my first transaction, was land,
Hey.
which was crazy, but I was hooked from there. So I knew kind of the system, so I started driving for dollars, cold calling on my own, one by one, single dial, Google Voice.
Dang.
Moved up to the Mojo dialer.
Dang.
Triple ring.
The grind, bro. The grind to the come up.
Yeah, and then to the VAs, man. But we had a great run wholesaling. And then it was just me, so it was perfect, man. Had built some relationships with some good buyers, guys we still do projects with to this day.
Nice.
And eventually saved up enough capital to start flipping. I remember one house I regretted. We got it under contract for $5,000, and I didn't have the capital. But we wholesaled it for 25. It literally had a hole in the roof and was on a demolition list for the city, but fixed up. It was worth 160 at the time.
Dang.
But yeah, 5,000 for the house. That's all it. 5 grand.
Sheesh. That's crazy. You've got to find more of those. Have you been able to find deals like that anymore?
No, not like that, man. The last house I bought with a hole in it, I paid 38 for. But again, it was still a good deal. We sold it for 172.
Nice.
About 60 in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you've been flipping, and we could talk about flipping and all that stuff. All right. So let's transition to the land stuff. So you were doing a ton of fix and flipping, doing all that stuff at scale, and then all of a sudden, land. Like because I tell people all the time. I go, I think that the secret sauce and the biggest hack is land. You've got, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you're just entitling land, you're looking at like 98% profit margins on what could be 7 figures.
Easy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Easy.
Okay, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, so wholesaling, flipping, and especially if you're sourcing your own deals, you pull in a list. And so, man, we were getting a lot of land on our list, and I was just skipping right past it. If it's not somebody who's looking to sell in the next 30, 60 days, and with a property on it, I don't need it. And then, man, rolled past one. It was a 17-acre tract. A church owned it, and called the number that was on a sign. They had a sign in the land that they were going to build. That sign was there for about 8 years. So called them, and I got 3 back-to-back calls from a number I didn't recognize. It was the actual pastor. So, hey, man, we'll like to sell some of the land, but we want to keep the rest to eventually build. They had plans on building, and in 8 years, the price doubled for construction. So if they sell some of the land, make some of the money back. So they had 10 acres they wanted to let go of. I didn't know nothing about land. Called a great friend of mine he's partnered with me on deals to this day. I said, hey, man, I got 10 acres. What can we do with it? He said, man, we can entitle it and develop it. And he builds about 50 houses a year himself, owns a nice construction company. They probably, in Greensboro, start at about the 400,000 and up range.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Greensboro, yeah.
He does 50 a year. He doesn't want to get any bigger than that.
Dang.
He walked me through the whole entitlement process, literally. So we initially were slated to do like 72 lots, some mix between town and single, and got the wetlands report back in down to 26.
Gets you every time.
Yeah. So again, for him, he said, man, this is too small for me. I'll let you do it. And if you need any help, let me know. So we finished the process out, and as most entrepreneurs, once you see something, you kind of go crazy with it. So I went and got like 6, 7 other sites.
Nice. So in total, how many have you done up to this point?
So we've done 6 entitlements.
Okay. And that's just, and we'll talk about the difference, but that's just paper.
That's just paper.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you also do horizontals.
Yep. So we've taken 3 of those entitlements and actually put in the plans that we had approved. So all the cutting the trees down, the grading, water and sewer lines, erosion control, all of that stuff. We started on 3 of those.
Let's go. And then now you're building verticals.
No, not yet.
Not yet. But
Not yet.
but you've begun breaking ground on.
I've done verticals.
Okay.
Single family homes, new construction. So in the development side, all I'm doing is executing the engineered plans and selling the whole entire development to a national builder to build the houses. So let's talk about the process, because I think you and I know, and what's and this is a saying that I have of what's ordinary to us is extraordinary to somebody else. So right now we're extraordinary to somebody else. So let's talk about that process. Gotcha.
So you go entitlement. What's the process of entitling land?
So first you want to get the land under contract with enough time to entitle it. So again, my mentor taught me you want to get 9 months at least in Greensboro. Our entitlement process is a little lengthy. If you're in like Charlotte, Raleigh, you want to get 18 probably.
Yeah, as long as
Raleigh, you probably want to get a little longer.
Raleigh is terrible.
Davidson County, you'd be good in 3-4 months.
Wow.
But again, it's just different where you go. So you want to get enough time under contract. Once you get under contract, what I normally do almost simultaneously, I just reach out to a national builder. Hey man, I got some land in this area. How much are you buying finished lots for? Just to get a number from them. Just and make sure that the deal is sellable, if that makes sense.
And we're looking like numbers, because you and I have attempted to do deals before together, but they've fallen through because crazy sellers. But you're looking at single family houses in Charlotte, $60,000 a lot, probably 40,
More than that.
50.
I'm getting 60 in Greensboro.
Dang, $60,000 a lot per. And how many houses can you put on a lot depending on the zoning?
Yeah, depending on the zoning. So like that 10-acre site, we got 26. We got
26 lots.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we got a 22-acre site in Winston that we're doing 66.
Yep. And I remember our lot that we had was 21 acres, and we had 21 acres, and it was 96 lots.
Yep.
I do remember that.
Yep. So yeah, it just depends on the zoning. I think those are townhomes. It was zoned.
It was townhomes. Yeah.
8 units an acre, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was townhomes.
Yeah. So yeah, zoning, that all factors in. But again, so I want to get a number from the end builder, and to kind of reverse engineer the math. In Greensboro and probably anywhere in North Carolina, unless it's really an affluent area, you want to try to be under $10,000 per lot for your purchase price. That's a big difference. A lot of people say, hey, it's $50,000 an acre. Okay, if I can get 4 houses on that acre, my number is different.
Yep,
so
right.
I like to go by per lot.
So it's really important to know zoning.
Yeah, super important. Once I get it under contract, I'm going to my engineer and just have him draw me out a sketch plan.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm getting the land delineated. That's what we failed to do on that first one. We just drew a sketch plan based on how big the area was. We knew there was a creek and we kind of accounted for it, but the wetlands overran the creek by so much that it really ate up our lots. Dang. So once we get the wetlands delineated, we give that report to the engineer. He draws us up a sketch plan. We could take that sketch plan, take it to an end builder if we wanted to, and get an LOI just based on the sketch plan.
Just on the sketch plan.
Yeah.
Just on the location, how many lots you can put out there.
That's it.
Yep.
And I'm maybe $2,500 out of pocket at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And the crazy part about that too is all of it can be outsourced.
Yes.
All of it.
Yep.
So like I distinctly remember, man, this was like the point for me. I was sitting there, I was building out your SOPs, and I was like, because when you presented at CG, you were like, yeah, it's me and like 3 VAs and this and that. So then I was building out the SOPs for you, and I was like, okay, where do your VAs come into play on this? And you were like, there's no VAs. And I was like, but you said you had 3 VAs, and you're like, on my fix and flip side, I got VAs. But on this, it's just me. And then I was like, how many deals are you doing right now? And you're like, I'll do 7 by yourself. And I was like, yo, that's insane that you're entitling 7 properties by yourself. And you're doing more than you should be doing.
Yeah.
Because when I built it out for you, it was like VA. So literally from beginning to the end, a VA could do all of it.
For the most part, man, the only part that I would take from that VA is I like sitting in the living room with sellers, man, building that rapport. Because one of a little cheat trick that I'm trying to do, man, you normally like my first parcel of land I closed on, it was 91 acres. We paid $600,000 for that. So imagine you build enough rapport with a seller, you give them $600,000. Say, hey, look, we got this project going on. Why don't you take 200 of that and invest in that project? I won't have that opportunity if I don't build that rapport.
That's true. That's true.
Just on the back end, it could lead to some private money. So that's
because they're about to come up. And they got to figure out something to do to avoid taxes or whatever.
Yep.
So no, that's fantastic, man. That's a great idea, and that's good. That's good. You're right.
But the VA can do if you wanted to.
And my VA did do that.
Yeah,
got us those deals. So like. Yeah, you totally can do that, but that relationship part of it is really important. And the only thing a VA couldn't do is go to like the town meetings and stuff like that, which you could have a project manager do.
Yeah, or you can hire a rezoning attorney.
Or you can hire a rezoning attorney. So you really theoretically can do a whole project, entitle it, and not do a thing.
Yeah,
except I mean, like
you can never see it. Honestly,
that's crazy. Yeah. Because then on something like that, so like give a price, like a deal example of how much somebody can make just entitling the paper.
Gotcha. Perfect example. One we're doing that we could sell, but we're going to develop. It cost us about $550,000 all in engineering, phase ones,
purchase
wetland
price.
delineation, purchase price. So that was about maybe $8,500 an acre, $8,500 a lot. I'm sorry, because it was 66 lots. We could sell that development for $25,000 a lot.
Dang.
Paper only.
Dang. So you're looking at from 5 to 2.5. So purchase price of 500,000, sell price of 2.5 million.
A little less than that. Let me do the math real quick.
But still, so like on a 9-month cash conversion cycle, theoretically, you don't have to ever show up and do any of the work. And then once it's entitled, and what we saw 1.65, you could sell that for 1.65. So in 9 months, you can make 1.1 million on one job without actually ever going out to the site if you have your system set up properly.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
so
one deal.
That's just one deal. Council had 7 of them. So we're going to show everybody where they can go to talk to you about this, because they're going to want to learn about this after this, because that's insane. That is like really, I think, the secret sauce of all of this, because like including in that purchase price, because we've broken it down. You get from the delineation to the survey to the architect, 40 to 70 grand out of pocket.
Yep.
Then you have the purchase price of 550 or 550 or whatever, or you're all in at 550. So you maybe had a purchase price of 4 something. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at all in, out of pocket, 70 grand to make 1.1 million. Yeah. Which is crazy. So that's awesome. There's so much opportunity there, because what people don't realize is that person's giving you 9 months to entitle that land. So really all you have to do is pay the 70 grand. And as long as you have a buyer for that paper at the end of 9 months, you don't have to pay the seller to buy it.
Nope.
You're just paying the 70 grand.
And you're signing a contract just like you would on a wholesale.
On a wholesale. This is just wholesale on steroids.
Literally.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. Longer cash conversion cycle.
Yes.
Much bigger payouts. So like this would be a really good thing. And this is actually a wing in our company that we are literally about to build out. But like, and this is what we've talked about before, because people would go, why don't you just stop flipping and just do that? But you're dealing with longer cash conversion cycles, and the bills still got to be paid.
Yeah. Lights still got to be turned on. So, again, until we close a few, we'll probably keep flipping. But that's, in the very, very near future. But plus, I love flipping. So, it's kind of hard to give that up. That's how I got started. So,
yeah. Well, cool, man. Okay, so now, next phase, you've got the verticals. Horizontals, the verticals. So, we've talked about the land and the paper part of it. Now it sounds like, and this is also where I was like, it sounds like to build out horizontals, plumbing, electricity, gutters, sewers, all that stuff that you're like, that should take you a lot of work, but that's really just outsourced as well.
Yeah, I got one guy we call, and he manages everything, so I just go to the site to record and keep an eye on it, but you could get a water sewer guy, a grading guy, a erosion control guy, have 5 or 6 people that you have to manage or you can call a project manager, a guy, my guy Leaf. Shout out to Leaf.
Hey, Leaf.
North Star Grading. But yeah, man, he handles everything from beginning to end.
Nice.
So
it's just you're hiring one guy to finish it out. And we've talked about like the need for a construction loan and stuff like that you actually need to take out to pay for all of it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you build out the horizontals, you go from 1.65 to 3, 4.
Yeah, 4. Yeah. So 66 times, I think we're getting 68,000 on this one.
4 million.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's exciting, and it's really good stuff. Yeah, all in on that. That's crazy. So for you, what's the goal? So the goal, you've gotten the entitlement. I feel like at that point you can start sailing away into the sunset. You and your family sipping mimosas on the beach with your toes in the sand. But we know you got a bigger goal for that. And then also you and I have a very, very similar heart on the type of people we want to help with what we do. And so I'd love to hear, man, like what that stuff has led to for you or what's leading to. I know you're working on a giant project that's fulfilling part of that goal.
Yep.
And I'd love to hear about that.
So, man, my goal is to continue to do the entitlements. I would love to go vertical, like actually build the houses on one of those developments, and we may take that and run with it. But really, man, the 4% tax credit affordable housing, that's kind of what I really want to hang my hat on. So it's a conference this week, actually, affordable housing in Raleigh. But
dang.
Yeah.
I was in Raleigh for a self-directed IRA conference.
Oh, man. At the convention center?
It was at, the Renaissance.
Okay, yeah, at the convention center. So,
but
yeah, man, we're working on a 252 unit apartment complex that just had a meeting with the city manager 2 weeks ago. Need to send him an email today, actually. But, yeah, I mean, those things are really fulfilling. And
time out. You brushed over something. I guess you could keep going, but you brushed over something. You said the 4% tax credit. I don't think anybody knows what that means or what that even affects. Which is kind of a big deal. Not as big deal as the 9%, but kind of a big deal. But like, would love to talk about that even a little bit. But continue to talk about your heart for it too first.
Yeah, man. My mom, before she bought her first house, was the beneficiary of living in an affordable housing unit that capped the rent. Not Section 8, but cap the rent at a specific income level so she can save up enough money to afford a house. And so it's a good transitional piece for people to be able to live in a nice place. It's not a dump. Save up enough money to afford or, have their American dream, quote unquote, buy a house.
That's good.
So the 4% tax credit, man, it's a way that the government helps developers build affordable housing. In order for housing to stay affordable, the loan needs to be a specific amount. So the government 4% tax credit normally pays 30 to 40% of your construction costs.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I got a $20 million project. It's going to pay $6 to $8 million free money of my construction costs. So now instead of financing 20, I'm financing 12 to 14,
which is a lot easier,
and it allows me to cap my rents at 80 or 60 or 30%, whatever one you choose.
Nice.
Median income level stated by HUD for that area.
Nice.
And you do it for a tax period of 15 years. After that, you can go market rate. You can go back to do another tax credit.
And if you do another tax credit, the benefits of that is
you get another. You can rehab the units and get another 30, 40%.
That's right, which is fantastic.
Yep.
Now, what's crazy on this, so this is where like you and I geek out a little bit, which I think it's just like, this is, sure, single families, nice little legacy play. This is like true legacy play. So like, cause you're building, this is just so cool, man. You're building a 252 unit affordable housing area, and what's the name of it?
Adams Crossing.
Okay, now what's that name
It's
about?
my mom's last name.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So not only do you get to name a whole apartment complex after your mom, you get to name the streets.
Yep.
So you got your kids in the streets?
Yeah, that's another thing too about even the land entitlement, man. When you entitle land, you have to establish a HOA. So if you want to manage HOA, you can. You have to somebody has to maintain the grounds. So if you had a landscaping company or knew someone with a landscaping company, you can feed them. With the apartments, I have to pick a property manager. So if I want the property manager and HOA manage under one roof, you can do that as well. Yeah. But yeah, the legacy play is huge on this one. But it's still real estate. So one of the things I learned from Mike Watson, CG Premier, man, you got to try to find how you can get paid multiple ways in the process. So in order to do 4% deal in North Carolina, you have to have accreditation or have done one before, or you need to get a sponsor. So found a sponsor because I haven't done one. We formed a single use LLC, and I had the land under contract for 1.5, but I sold it to our single use LLC for 3.2 because I improved the value of the land by getting it entitled to do 252 apartments because it was just 75 single families.
So you took a little cut off that.
Took a little haircut off the top.
Hey.
Also with the 4% tax credits.
This is crazy. I already know what you're about to say. Go ahead and say it.
As a developer, you get to get a $20,000 per door
crazy
developer fee. So $20,000 times 252 doors is, I think, $5,040,000. If my math is correct. Now,
I'm sure your math is correct because you know how much you're getting paid to develop your own apartment complex that you get to keep. That's crazy.
Sweet. But in full transparency, with a partner or a sponsor, he's getting a large percent of that developer fee. So between the difference in what I got the land for and what I'm selling it for and the developer fee, it's going to be a good day. I'm not looking to collect any of the rent roll. That's for the kids. But, I mean, you do one, you get the accreditation, and sky's the limit.
Well, and that's the thing, too, because, like, and I don't know if you know this. So my BHAG, like big, hairy, audacious goal, is to transform the life of 10,000 families in America by building 1,000 units of affordable housing in 10 different states around the country. So, and we'll see what that looks like and how that actually comes to fruition. But the goal is to be a part of that. And that's a big part of it because I think we're actually working with the town of Davidson for some affordable housing. And we're looking at LIHTC products and stuff like that. But you have to have accreditation. And so I'm be calling you when it comes to that. So I think, and that's really awesome that we could do that. And I bet we'll work on plenty of those in the future, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Pull up a text message. Just show you how I'm going to challenge you to push that goal a little bit.
I thought 10,000 was pushing it.
I got a guy who is doing LIHTC right now, and just this year, this is what he has, like, that he's submitted application for.
900 just this year.
Yeah,
that's 1 year.
Yeah,
almost 1,000 in 1 year. Let's get it. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. No, man. I think it's funny when you're in, and I talk about this, things like CG. What always happens is, like, you get around people, and when I first got into CG, and I was like, yo, this guy owns 50 doors. That's crazy. Yeah. And then I got around somebody else in CG, and I was like, he's got 150. And then there was somebody else who was like 2,000. And then I get into these, like, capital raising fund manager masterminds, and they're like, oh, I own, the lowest I found was a guy with like 6,500 doors. And then, like, another guy was like, oh, I own 10,000 doors. And so then what happens is, like, I say this, the ceiling to what my dreams and what I believe to be possible is raised, and the floor to my limiting beliefs are raised. So then now I go, I'm like, 6,000 units, of course. Like, of course, because those are the rooms we're in.
Right.
And so then you're like 900 in a year, of course.
Yeah.
Where people would be like, by the time I die, I want 10, and it's just like, dang, it's just crazy what's possible when you surround yourself with people that are doing the next thing. Yep.
Rising tide raises all ships, man.
That's right, man. That's right. Well, I'm excited for you, man. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for your heart. And because, like, very similar, I grew up in the hood in LA. My mom did everything she could. She, true triple-double, 3 jobs, 2 kids. Right. So,
that's dope.
So, like, my mom worked really, really hard to provide for us and never owned a home. And so, like, for me, I want to be able to give back to help. Like, the great thing about that is you get to vet a lot of those tenants and want to be a good place for a single mother to raise their kids in a good area and to be able to have that heart in what you do, man. I'm thankful for that. And I appreciate that.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Yeah. Okay, man, this has been fantastic. So for you, I know that you got some stuff coming up. You're going to be educating people on this stuff. And, and so I would love to know how people can reach out and find you and start to follow you. So once you get that stuff up and running, or where they can go to check you out.
I would say the best way right now is probably Instagram or Facebook, Count CL Glenn, COUNCIAL, Glenn, GLENN. We got the landing page and, website stuff coming soon. Not quite ready yet, but we'll have it up. But yeah, that's the best way to follow me because obviously I'll post it on there. But just I'm finding a value in just showing people what you're doing. I used to be like, nah, man, just grind. You know,
Yeah.
Real G's moving silence like lasagna. But man, I'm serious. So I posted a story on some land development. Old high school friend of mine was like, hey man, if you raising capital on it, let me know. I want to invest.
That's right, man. That's how it is too.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
And again, of course, you'll get people to hit you up that want to learn or want to know what you're doing. Then you get those guys that look, man, if you need some cash, because you've already proven your authenticity. I mean, your authority and your authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yeah, authenticity. There we go. College words.
That's right.
Yeah,
not English.
But it's amazing the power of social media. So,
there's no doubt.
Starting to use that a lot more.
Man, and it's the truth because, like, sure, that guy was like, oh, I want to put my money to work. But probably on a bigger level, he believes in what you believe in.
Exactly.
And so, like, he wants to be a part. Like, so we have a clause in my fund, in our PPM, that money goes straight to foster care. And so for people to know that what we do is bigger than ourselves and what their money is going to is much bigger than themselves. And like people are like, yeah, I'll have my money work for me and it's doing great and good things in the world.
Yeah.
And people invest in that. Cause like I'm a big jockey, not the horse. I'm gonna go with the guy, not the horse that he's riding.
Right.
It's the guy that's leading that horse. And cause that guy will get off and he'll go to a different horse. He'll go to a different horse, follow that jockey wherever he goes.
Yeah.
Cause he's a winner. And so, that's a big part of it, man. Investors want to be with you and what you believe in because it's a big part of what you do, man.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Yeah. So, now for real, Council is the guy that y'all want to learn from. There's no doubt about it. He's the best in the business at what he does, and he's done it at a high level continuously and is still doing it.
Yeah.
So, and definitely reach out to him, learn from him, get on whatever mailer list he's got, anything like that. He's the man. So I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, sir.
Thankful for you being on this. I'm
Yes,
excited
sir.
to partner together and see the big impact you make in the world.
Absolutely, man.
You're the man.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.